Are you ready to learn my best productivity tips as a virtual assistant? If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lian Lai, and I run a virtual assistant agency here in the Philippines named 2XU. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. And when it comes to the day-to-day of being a virtual assistant, your productivity is probably something that's top of mind, of like making sure that you are prioritizing the right things, especially when it comes to working with your client. So I created this list of different checklists that you can have, or things that you can put onto your checklist every single day so you can keep yourself productive and actually getting onto the right things done. The first one is settling on your daily highlight or one thing. This is a combination of the book The One Thing by Sam Carpenter, or also the book Make Time right here. I'm currently reading. I'm halfway through this book. Basically, you want to choose when you're starting your day. You want to pick what is your one thing or highlight that you want to make sure that you get done. That you know that if you can get anything else done today, if you got that done, you know it's a good day. The reason why this works really well is that it narrows down. Instead of everything louder than everything else, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not sure what to do first. Creating your one thing or your daily highlight makes it to where you can focus on the one thing of getting that done, because that moves everything forward. In the book The One Thing, it talks about finding that domino that will topple everything else, that make things easier for you, or will even take out the other things that's on your to-do list just because you got this one thing done. Next is going through your recurring tasks. Now, as a virtual assistant, you probably have tasks that you need to get done daily, maybe on the weekly basis. So it's important that right off the bat, as you start your day, that you do these first. Now, they might be the faster tasks. There might be tasks that you know you're going to get done at the end of the day anyway, but it's important that you actually get started so then they're just off of your mental RAM. You don't have to think about them. It doesn't have to be popping up for the rest of your day. You're just getting your recurring tasks done. The biggest reason why you want to do this is a lot of the time you want to jump into the exciting project, the exciting task, into the new thing that we want to do. But to be able to get to that point, you have to finish your recurring tasks, because as you're going through the day, maybe as you're tackling that new amazing thing, it's still in the back of your head, like, hey, I want to get this done. And as much as you want to focus and concentrate on that, there's part of you basically that keeps dragging you away from that cool new thing you're working on. So getting on to your recurring tasks, whether that's making sure your client's email is clean, checking their calendar, maybe there's a every Wednesday task that you have to do. So making sure that they're ticked off helps kind of, again, free up a little bit of that stress and that mental RAM so you can get onto the next thing of the day. Next thing you want to do to just kind of keep productive is to clean communications, but to also schedule it. So what I mean by that is, as you start your day, there's probably a few things, depending on the time zone of your client, that you need to add to your to-do list, for example. There's probably a few things that you need to respond to or get to. So getting that done, again, almost like right after you do, your one thing, your daily highlight, you go through your recurring tasks. Now you're cleaning your communications, so you've addressed the main things that needs to get done for the day. So cleaning communications could be just going through your inbox, your WhatsApp, Signal, Slack, making sure that if there's anything else that will need your attention throughout the day, you have responded to it instead of procrastinating and making that something that's just going to be added to your list. If it can be done in less than 2 minutes, rather just do it. That's actually coming from the book Getting Things Done. So if you can just do it, respond to it, it's clean, it's out of your head, don't have to worry about it. The second part that I said was to schedule it. So as you go through the day, there's going to be times where there'll be emails that'll be coming in, communications from other people. Aside if you have it established basically with your boss, with your client, that you guys are going to be syncing at certain times, or that they want to be the only one who can reach you, they're probably the only ones who you will check a lot on their messages. The rest, as much as possible, so you can actually get things done. You want to schedule when you check your messages. So for example, for myself, I start checking my messages in the morning and noon, like right before I go for my lunch break, and then right before I wrap up for the day. This makes it easier for myself to be able to keep on top of things, make sure that things don't fall through the cracks, but at the same time, I'm guarding my time, I'm guarding my focus, so I can actually show up for the other things that I have going on. Next is to go ahead and clean your bucket. Now, what I mean by bucket is throughout your day, maybe yesterday, maybe the last couple of days, you've had ideas, you've had tasks that you put into maybe just a catch-all on your to-do list. Coming from the book Getting Things Done Again by David Allen, you want to have a place where you can just dump ideas, thoughts, to-dos into one place. So as you're starting to go through your day, you want to clean your bucket as much as you can of like, hey, now this is filed as something that's to do, this is filed as a document, this is filed as something that's for later. Or again, if it's something that can be done in 2 minutes or less, just get it done. But the importance of cleaning your bucket is then you can start categorizing the tasks that aren't as important. Maybe these are the important but not urgent tasks, or the lesser important tasks throughout your day, and actually start sorting them through, so then it's easier for you to get into flow for the next task and for the next task. The important part of cleaning your bucket is, again, categorizing and prioritizing. So having that just on your to-do that you can easily see one after the other what you're supposed to do next, because you have that clean bucket, will of course make your day just a little bit smoother. Next is, if you haven't yet, try to time block your tasks. So what time blocking is you're setting basically an amount of time that could actually go into your calendar, or you've set aside, you put it on your notebook, of the group of tasks or the one main task that you want to get done. So for example, for myself, when I am filming these videos, I try to have them all in a time block where I'm writing up the script or researching, writing up the script, and then recording. I try to do them in one go, so my brain doesn't have to do task switching, or as most people call it, multitasking. It is better that you try to finish and focus on one thing at a time. So that's where time blocking is really, really important, because it minimizes the time that your brain has to switch from one topic to the other. A lot of the time people make the mistake again of, when it comes to multitasking, of like, oh, I can do multiple things at once, but in reality you're not actually getting anything done. So it's better that you have, you either group the tasks that you need to get done together, or you have this one big task you want to make sure that you get done, you do it in that one go. Next is scheduling out your break times. Now this is really important, something that I missed myself, that I was just taught by my business coach basically to do this, is to make sure that within my day I have actually blocked off time on my schedule to take a break. And for me, it could be making sure that I have 1 whole hour of lunch break, there's no interruptions in between. It could be having a focus time at the beginning of the day, like as I start through and I do my usual meetings or usual routine, and also in the middle of the afternoon as I need to. This way I have space for things that come up, also space for me to breathe, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't just keep giving if you don't have it. So it's really important that you put in the time to make time for yourself. Next is allow for times for team check-in. Now, depending on the type of virtual assistant that you are, if you're just working one-on-one with your client, it is important that you have a set time every single day, that you have a quick sync of going through, hey, what was done yesterday, what are the priorities for the day, and any bottlenecks or resources that you need from them. If you are working with your team, like you're managing different people, putting in the time to just check in on them, even though it doesn't have to be a full call, just a chat, will help get things along in the day, because sometimes, someone might be stuck on something that you can solve, or might need help, but they didn't know where to ask or who to ask. So just a good kind of rule of thumb of like putting it into your productivity, just checking in with your team or the people that you work with. Next is making sure that you have time for space to grow. What I mean by this is you have it in your calendar or your time in the day to actually learn something, to study. Like I said, currently I'm reading this book, Make Time. I have so many other books that I will be reading afterwards, but it gives me the space and the time to concentrate, that I know that I'm growing this skill, I'm learning this, I'm going through this book, for example, or a course, so I am constantly growing myself in some way. It's important for you as a virtual assistant, and also just as a human being or a person, that you are growing yourself in one way or the other, because this of course helps you move forward in your career, see new things, learn things about yourself, and so on and so forth. So it's important that you have that in your calendar, maybe at least like an hour a day, 30 minutes in a day, where you're just studying or growing yourself in some way. Next is making sure that you send end of day updates. Now, as you've probably set like your priorities for the day, the end of day updates, this can be sent directly to your client or your boss or your team members, but it keeps you accountable and also keeps the other person informed of what you actually got done based on the priorities for the day. It keeps that momentum going of, let's say that your client is in a whole different time zone opposite of you. When you send that end of day updates, they're like, oh, okay, so this is where they dropped off, this is where I can take off basically afterwards. Sending that end of day updates is just going through, again, what was done, bottlenecks, and what could be a priority for tomorrow. It's not putting it not solidifying it basically, but making sure that again you are in sync with the person that you're reporting with, and also again keeping yourself accountable on what you did set at the beginning of the day. And lastly, to keep yourself just flowing and growing and productive, try to set up for tomorrow. Now what I mean by this isn't just going through your to-do list or cleaning X, Y, and Z up your inbox, anything else, but setting up for tomorrow is making sure you have a clean desk. So for a lot of us who work from home, for example, for me, I make sure that I have, dishes are cleaned, are taken out of my room if they don't need to be in my room. I make sure my desk is set up for me to just sit and get started in the day, and I don't have to have so many things running in my mind right before I'm going to sleep. So as I wrap up my day, I make sure that I have a clean workspace. I may clean up my room a little bit, make sure my plants are watered, but I have a routine basically to end my day so I can prep for tomorrow. I don't have to worry about a lot of things tomorrow. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what are your productivity tips or your routine as a virtual assistant. I would love to know. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!